Hello and welcome back to Tradie Business School, the podcast where we have real conversations. We have a few giggles along the way, but ultimately what we do is share with you some tips, insights and advice, I suppose, on how you can run your trades or contracting business more easily, enjoyably and profitably. Going to be having a chat about the most important relationship you can have in business, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Bryan Santos. How are you today, Bryan?
I'm great. Hi, everybody.
We've had a few of these conversations. In fact, we were just chewing the fat a little bit. Oh, he's vanished off my screen. Come on back, Bryan.
This hour.
Oh dear, we do keep things very real, as I just said in the intro. There, we keep things very real. Power is important, apparently, when you're recording a podcast. So we'll just keep on rolling. We were chatting about this episode before we hit the record button. And so wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for listening. And we were talking a lot about 2022 and that now, I don't actually know when this episode's going to land. It's going to be the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, somewhere in there. And regardless of that, wherever you're at now listening to this, look back and consider the last year and this moment that you're in right now and consider what is the relationship that I have with my business. So the most important relationship you can have in business is the relationship you have with your business. Isn't that right, Bryan?
Oh, 100%. And you and I were talking about this, a lot of things that happen in our lives happen because of good, bad, or indifferent relationships. And believe it or not, we have relationships with things as well as people. And so, this is really what we want to kind of discuss and dive into a little bit more today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with, what happens when we don't do this? If we don't get this right, if we have a crappy relationship with our business, what's the outcome? What do we kind of see, hear, and feel about our business?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like, if we don't have a great relationship, full stop, then it won't serve us. In fact, it sometimes takes over, and in any relationship, whether it be a person or with the business, sometimes it can be affect your mindset. It can affect your stress levels. It can affect your relationships with your loved ones, your family, your wife, your husband, your partner. And so, we were talking about this before. If your business was personified, was an actual person, and you kind of considered your business to be a person, for example, right? Just hear me out. But if your business was a person and you thought about your business as having a relationship with this personified version of your business, then what is that relationship like? Are you subordinate to it? Are you the subordinate one to that business or to that person? Or is it, that it's taking control of your life? Is it like a mistress and how's it affecting your family life? Is it taking it away from your time and your relationship with your loved ones? So if we kind of see a little bit differently, it might be able to help. So coming back to your question, how can it affect you? Well, there's probably different ways it's coming through in your life. It could be stress. It could be mental health issues. It could be, energy levels. It could be a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think, so you think about it, if you have an argument with somebody that is important to you, you can get quite upset. You can get quite angry, quite frustrated, and probably a number of other things. And think about how that could play out if you have a poor relationship with your business, if you feel like you're arguing with it, if you feel like it is controlling you, if you feel like it is making you do things that you don't necessarily want to do, if you feel powerless and backed into a corner because you have to do certain things, if your business is not treating you in the way in which you would like it, and you think, I'm putting in all of this work, I'm up from dusk till dark every single day, slogging it out. I'm on the tools, and I'd rather maybe be having a few moments to not be on the tools, or I would like to be doing some other things. Yet here I am, and it just feels like a thankless task, and I'm not feeling that my business is grateful for my efforts. I'm not being rewarded for it. It just feels hard. And maybe I'm just going, really, do I want to be in this anymore? You start questioning, do I want out of this relationship? Do I want out of this business? Why am I here? God, did I delude myself in the first place? These are all the sorts of things that you begin to think when you have a poor relationship with your business, right?
Absolutely.
Let's flip it. What's life like when somebody or we have a great relationship with our business, when we get this right?
Yeah, great question. When we have a relationship, great relationship with anybody or with our business, right? The positive, the other end of the scale. So we'll be less stressed, we'll be happy, we'll feel congruent. We'll be able to sleep well at night. We'll be able to, be present more with the people that we, love and care about, as opposed to always be thinking, something niggling in the back of your mind. Geez, I have to do this, or, I have to chase that. The positive aspects of a good relationship will obviously vary, but, like with most relationships, it can have an enormous impact on your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, and your financial well-being too.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the financial well-being as well. It's certainly a result that you get from having a good relationship with your business. For one, you're going to have a skip in your step. You're going to have a bounce out of bed. You're going to have a smile on your face. You're going to enjoy what you do. You're going to feel rewarded and fulfilled. And ultimately, as human beings, whether in business, we're in a relationship with somebody, whatever we choose to do in our hobbies, in our personal worlds, with our families, even from a spiritual perspective, we seek meaning and fulfillment. It's what we do. It's core to our being. And so all of those things will be met by having a better and a great relationship with your business. So, and that will come out as a ripple, because as you have a better relationship with your business will show up in different ways. The people in your business will show up in different ways, and your profit and loss will show up in different ways.
Yeah.
Different colors. Right, different colors. So, yeah, it's such a great way. So for all of you listening, just stop for a moment and think about your business for a moment as maybe somebody or something that you have a relationship with, and we'll continue to explore this conversation. It's really important. It's the first thing I think to do, is just for a moment go, wow, okay. And if you want to give it a name, give your business a name for a moment and start thinking about it, because I'm sure all of you listening have been in a relationship with another human being in a friendship, an intimate relationship, somebody that you have cared about and you have wanted to invest in the relationship, whether or not it worked out or not, or whatever place you're in now. But I know all of you would be able to connect with a moment that you've had a relationship with another human being, even a friendship, where you know that it goes both ways. It is an investment, and you can't make it all about yourself. And if your inner world and your inner talk is all about, bitching and moaning about the stuff that the other person isn't getting right or isn't doing, or how they're not meeting your needs and they're not seeing you and hearing you and connecting with you, then that relationship probably didn't or isn't going well.
Mm.
And so, it's that internal narrative, right? So I think it's really about thinking about the two ways you have to give to it so it can give back. So there's a couple of key questions Bryan and I are going to unpack a little bit further. And the first one I think if we can think about in our business is, what can I give it and what can it give me?
Yeah.
What can I give it and what can it give me? It goes both ways. Now, you actually had a really good example before, didn't you, Bryan, that brought this to life? Do you want to share that?
Yeah. So I forgot who I heard it from, but someone was telling me about how they, for years and years, have been trying to lose weight. They've gone on all sorts of programs, joined all sorts of gyms and clubs and all that sort of stuff, did all sorts of sports. Yeah, sure, they've lost weight, but it would always come back up, right? And then until they realized, whether it was from someone else or internally, it might have come about, but they realized that what it came down to, the constant failures, if you will, was because he realized of his relationship with food. And coming from an Italian background, with food being the source of like joy and like family and get-togethers, his relationship with food was totally different to someone who sees food as a pure source of nutrition, right? Whereas he sees, was brought up seeing food in a way that was joyous and the more you eat, the more you are sharing love, right? And that's what it was like for me. And that was kind of like an aha moment for me, because growing up in a Filipino household, man, food was like, if you've finished eating, you got to eat some more. Otherwise you're disrespecting the people who've made it. So in the same way, well, I thought, well, we also have a relationship with our mind, right? So we talk to ourselves, whether we realize it or not. We have a relationship in our own head with ourselves. And if we actually wrote down the conversations that we have in our head, whether it's about, food or our business or whatever, and you wrote down what our conversations are like and you read it out on, from that piece of paper, you'd be horrified. You wouldn't have that kind of relationship in real life, because you'd just be horrified. You go, no, that's not serving you. So what's our relationship with our business? How do we talk about our business, our customers, our suppliers, and all the rest? What's the conversation that we have, with them is really a clue to the extent of our relationship, good, bad, or indifferent, with our business.
Yeah, so many great things you said just then. What came to mind was around, what can I give it? You think about, and I hear this all the time with tradies saying, but I don't have time to do this, and I've been pulled back on the tools, and I don't have time to go and do planning. I haven't got my 90-day plan in place fully yet, or I haven't looked at my P&L in weeks, and I haven't tracked my numbers in X, Y, and Z. All of these things, which are valid. However, thinking about it, those things rather than have to do's, and maybe the things you don't really like doing as much, is what if you reframed some of those activities as you giving to the business? Because a business needs those things attended to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just as, a loved one might need themselves attended to in some way, in terms of like an amazing conversation, a connection, an inquiry into how the day was, an act of kindness. All of those things connect you with another human being. They serve the relationship. They're you giving in some way. Whereas if you were to think about you giving to your business what it needs so that it gives back to you, like you're investing in those things. It may not, sure, you may not want to go and leap into your accounting. However, you give to your business and it will give back to you, because it will give clarity. It's going to give you clearer decision making. It's going to serve up better clients. You invest in some marketing for a little while and thinking about even your marketing strategy. You're going to be given back better clients, more leads.
Yeah, it really is. Like any relationship requires an investment of time, energy, love, care, and the same with your business. And, as you're talking, I just remembered about someone talking about them having a relationship with their body, with their muscles. And so when they work out, okay, if, obviously they're working out certain parts of their body, but then listen to their body. Okay, what does it need now? Like it's really tired or it's really sore. Okay, maybe I need to give it some rest. Maybe I need to give it some massage, or maybe I need certain vitamins or whatever. And listening to your muscle or his muscles and having a relationship. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how he saw it. And he listened to his body. And so, again, like we have relationships, whether we realize it or not, with all aspects of our lives, not just with people, but like I said, with things and our minds, our bodies, everything else. So, yeah.
I'm thinking, and for those of you listening out there, I mean, I go to the gym most days and things like that, and it's really interesting. And we have to, and I know personally that's been an ongoing relationship I've had to learn to build and learn to listen to, is the relationship I have with my physical body, and the intricacies of its mind. And are my muscles, is my body telling me today that it's just, trying to get out of going to the gym, or does it genuinely need a rest? And learning to read the signs and signals that it is sending you, and investing in that with care and with always keeping an overall goal in mind. So whatever your overall goal and purpose is for being in business, always keeping that in mind, as you would if you're going to the gym, for whatever your overall goal is, to think about that, going, how hard do you push, and what lessons are you going to learn, and how much you're going to hold that muscle under tension as your biceps are burning, those sorts of things. So think about the relationship you have with your business. It does go both ways. And I think if you can reframe, what can I give it and what can it give me? So thinking as well about, how does my business serve me? I'll serve it and serve me. Think about it as a two-way relationship, and just consider and notice what different things and different thoughts come up as you listen to think about your business in this different way. Notice the thoughts that you're having that might serve you or don't serve you. Think about any negative talk that you might have, inner voice talk about your business, frequent phrases that you say about your business often. Think about it. If you mutter under your breath or think in your head that so-and-so's are such and such all of the time, then probably the energy they're getting from you is that they're not that into me. And if you've got similar thoughts about your business, or you say certain things in your mind, then that's what your business will pick up. So yeah, slightly woo, but just go. You just run with me there, everybody listening. So I suppose one of the key things to wind this conversation up is that this time of year is an amazing time of year to reflect, to consider the relationship and the current state of relationship. And if anything, I would get you to start and do a couple of numbers and think about, you can do this as you're listening now, even if you're driving, is think of a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, my relationship is at ground zero, negative, big black hole, really the only way is up. And 10 being, cloud 9, like seriously in love with my business, right? And things are going really, really well and not at the detriment of my entire life. And think about that and give yourself a fair score. Just think, what do I rate my relationship with my business right here, right now, in this moment, as you are listening? Now, what's the number? And I would pretty much guarantee very few of you listening gave it a 10. And if you did, seriously, hats off to you. And could you send me how you've done it? Because I reckon we could get you on the podcast. But it's to do that and think about that number, and then consider what the gap is between it and where you'd like it to be. And that's where I'd love for you to sit and think a little bit about, what do you choose now that you realize that the relationship with your business has plenty of room for improvement? What can you give it so that it gives back?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty much it. Is there anything else you think would wrap this conversation up? Or we pretty much nailed it all, Bryan?
I think we've touched on everything that you and I had spoken about, and just to reiterate what you said, I think this is a great opportunity. This is a great time of year to reflect, to look back at it in a different, different glasses, in a different light. And if you look at it from a relationship point of view, hopefully that can allow you to see actually what's really going on. If you're seeing patterns happening, ask yourself, what's the relationship I'm having? If you want a better 2023, perhaps it is looking at a better relationship with you and your business. That will be the result of, could be the instigator of better results.
Yeah, nicely said. So for those of you that are listening to this podcast and you haven't yet joined our free Facebook group, Tradies and General Contractors Global, then jump on over in there. It's on Facebook. I do a weekly live in there, share some insights and tricks on different things that will help you to change the relationship with your business. And so I would love to have you over in there. So jump on in there. If you've liked this episode, then please share it. I know that it certainly is something that is a message that goes wider than just tradies as well. So, any business owner, anyone in business, think about it. You could apply the same concept to the relationship you have with your job. So if somebody's struggling a little bit with their job and their career, those sorts of things, this episode would be there. And I certainly know that Bryan and I work with many clients, private clients, different clients, and this is something we always continue to explore with them. So it's definitely a conversation worth having. So jump on in the Facebook group, and we'll certainly be back with some more episodes in the future. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.